And we are live. Instant reaction live to AEW Dynamite from June 14th. Joe Lanza, not here this week. He is on vacation. No Thursday Dynamite review. So I decided, hey, you know what? I'll be around Wednesday night. Let's do Instant Reaction Live. It looks like a pretty fun episode of Dynamite. We got MJF versus Adam Cole. Let's bring in a special guest. We got Suit Williams here with me. And Suit, that is a motherfucking episode of Dynamite. Holy shit. I knew it was going to be, I had a feeling it was going to be a good episode. I did not think it was going to be like an all-time great episode. What a fucking show this was, Suit. How are you, by the way? I'm just trying to get my heart to come down a little bit because the heart's racing. What an episode, man. Jesus Christ. What a fucking episode of Dynamite. That's what it's supposed to look like.
You know, this thing can go through, like 2 months of being mediocre, middling, not very exciting television. And then you get not just an ending angle like that, not just an opening match like that, not just a crowd like DC was tonight. You get a whole show like this and you are all the way back in.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane episode. We're going to try to recap it as much as we possibly can, even though my notes just got so long. And at one point, I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to write, just had exclamation points at a certain point. So we're going to try to recap it all. Of course, I do need to introduce you to the folks listening. It is Suit Williams joining me, obviously Rich here on Instant Reaction Live for AEW Dynamite June 14th. Suit, before we kind of get into this Dynamite, you want to let people know where they can find your work, where they can follow you, and all that other fun stuff.
Well, I am on Twitter at Suit Williams. I'm not on Blue Sky or any of the other ones trying to get Twitter's runoffs. I am one of the orchestra making beautiful music as this ship goes down. So I am gonna be on Twitter at Suit Williams, and when that thing is gone, I will be gone.
You'll be done.
I guess social media
once and forever. Suit obviously does incredible work for us at voicesofwrestling.com. You write a few other places as well, including Figure 4 online as well, WrestlingObserver.com, Figure 4 online. You want to let people know where they can find that work or what you do weekly?
Well, I mean, you covered it pretty well. F4W Online. That is the website. I do the Ring of Honor reviews every Thursday. I do them in a more play-by-play style where I have some pithy thoughts at the top of what I think of certain things that I have thoughts on. It's Ring of Honor TV, so there isn't that much, but it's still there, and it's still a good review, and you should check it out. And I also wanted to, I think, announce it because I don't think I've said it anywhere else. Starting this Saturday, I will be doing the AEW Collision reviews for F4W online as well. So they've got me on the Punk loop. I'm on the Punk scoop, as it were.
Making that Phil Brooks money. Yeah, making that Phil Brooks, man. He's a one man. The business of wrestling moves with one Phil Brooks.
Yes, it does. I am to CM Punk what Brian Windhorst is to LeBron James or Ed Werder is to Brett Favre.
Just following him around everywhere, getting all. Yeah, I did like that when Wemby was getting drafted. They sent Brian Windhorst there, or Windhorst sent himself there probably to be like, I got to get in on the next guy. So it's like a very tired Brian Windhorst just being like, I'm here with Wemby. Hey, how's it going? Like, please let me attach my career to you because LeBron's just about done. But yeah, Windhorst has made quite the living out of that. So yes, as Robert Collard says in the No Dopes chat room, Suit getting that muffin money from one Phil Brooks. So yeah, get that muffin money, baby. Wow. All right. So there it is. Suit Williams. You can follow him on the dying husk that is Twitter. And you can read his work at voicesofwrestling.com as well as Figure 4 online and WrestlingObserver.com. Starting the AEW Collision this Saturday, doing the reviews for AEW Collision. And hell, what a show. I mean, I think that's probably a good way to start this Dynamite review because there was the hype train for AEW Collision was nuts on this week's show. And rightfully so. A lot of people had said, And I kind of agree with them as well. Like, kind of the talk around the wrestling world was like, yeah, Collision's this week, but I don't know. It's like, yeah, Punk's coming back, but I don't know. I mean, like, I know that they've done a lot of the hype cycle in terms of making announcements on Dynamite about Collision coming, but it didn't feel like, if you weren't a very online, fan, that you really knew what this show really meant or really what the show was. And I thought they went into overdrive on this week's episode, and rightfully so, and that was the right thing to do and a good move, because I want to say that pretty much every single commercial break either began or ended with a Collision video saying Collision's coming this Saturday. Then in addition to that, we get a bunch of pre-tapes and a bunch of hype videos throughout the show as well, including, I think most notably, we'll start with this one before we get into the actual Dynamite review itself, but most notably, a CM Punk pre-match promo where they talk about his injury, they show an x-ray, they show him doing pull-ups, they show him working out, and they start really hyping this up as this guy's, just so you know, this guy's gonna be here. I don't know if we made it fully clear, but this guy's back. He's gonna be here. You see him rehabbing, like I said, he's coming back, and he says he's coming back for the same reason he came in the first place. There's still things he needs to do. Then he kind of hypes it up a little bit more, says the Saturday, June 17th at the United Center. He doesn't know what he's gonna say or what he's gonna do when he has that microphone in his hand, but he has a lot of things to get off his chest. So what do you think of that pre-tape there for CM Punk, just really driving it home? This dude's going to be on Collision Saturday, so you better fucking watch it.
It made it real. It made it real in a way that it wasn't before, because all you had was Tony Khan saying he was going to be there, and it's like in your head you're like, okay, CM Punk's coming back.
Right.
But then you see him and he's talking about it and he's saying, this Saturday, United Center, I'm going to be there. I got a lot to say. And you're also going to see him in a match, in a 6-man. It made it sink in like, all right, this guy's back. Business is picking up. It's time to get rolling here.
Yeah, I think it was just that visual and just the idea, because, like, okay, yes, it first off, it's CM Punk, so it's like anything could happen, and anything, like, it didn't feel real. Like you said, it finally felt real. It was like Tony Khan's like, yeah, he's going to be there. And it's like, okay, cool, he's going to be there. And it's like, CM Punk is on Instagram saying, yeah, I'll be there. And it's like, all right, he's going to be there. But it's like, you were like, is he, I mean, like, I know he's probably going to be there, but are we sure he's going to be there? And this week was like the definitive, like, no, he's fucking going to be there. And now he's got stuff to say. And you're getting the hype directly from him. He's telling you, watch the show on Saturday because I'm coming back and I got stuff to say. So I think they did a great job with it. And like we said, or like I said a couple of minutes ago, they put every amount of potential hype that you could possibly have for Collision. Every single commercial break was, hey, Collision's coming Saturday, Collision's coming Saturday, Collision's coming Saturday, Collision Saturday, Collision Saturday. I mean, they hit you over the head with it. So anybody that's still like, I don't know, they haven't really done a great job, like, there's nothing more they can do to tell you to watch on Saturday because Collision's coming. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing more that AEW could have done. So credit to them for putting on, like, the full court press of, like, here we go, we got to hype this show up, we got to get people excited about this. And I'd imagine that's going to help the rating, and hell, it might sell some tickets too, because you see that pre-match promo and you see Punk in the flesh saying, I'm going to be there and I got things to say, and you don't have a ticket for that show. It's like, oh shit, I better get there, right? Like, that's what my feeling was. I definitely had FOMO about being there on Saturday. So yeah, it's just, I think they did a great job with it, and it needed this hype cycle. It needed this week to really feel real, and now it feels like, all right, cool, we actually have this show and it's actually going to be a big deal. For this week, at least. Who knows what it's going to be in a month or two or whatever. But like you said, it feels real for the first time, and that's a big move for AEW.
Yeah, and then the last show they have before Collision is Rampage on Friday, and as we will get into, they gave us a real good reason to watch Rampage on Friday.
Sure did, yeah. With about 0.5 seconds left in the show, you find out that one Will Ospreay will be on Rampage on Friday. Excalibur having to scream out, Ospreay's on Rampage Friday, Collision Saturday, as he just goes off the air screaming. It's like, God, that was an episode, man.
Will Ospreay is
drilling
Kenny Omega
right,
with a second hidden blade for no reason, because he had laid him out already.
It's like, he's already dead. Stop, he's already dead. Oh my God, an episode.
This show was incredible, Rich.
So where do you want to start? We could start with the incredible opener that was one of the best TV matches you'll ever see, or the ending angle where 17 people returned and 1,000 people showed up and all cool things happened. Suit, I will let you decide. Do we start at the end? Do we start at the beginning? What the hell do we do with this show? How do we tackle this?
Let's start at the top and let's make our way through the show as God and Tony Khan intended.
Okay, well, we will do that. So we're back.
Experience this thing throughout
as it went on, but it didn't really come down at any point. You mentioned the crowd too. Great crowd tonight. I thought it was a fantastic crowd in Washington D.C. And it goes to the old theory too that like when you have a good show, the crowd will be good. You know, I understand it's a kind of a wild concept, but when you have really good matches and things are happening and guys are doing things and matches are good, like the crowd makes noise. And this crowd obviously went into this, you know, they were hyped from the beginning. They were hyped when MJF and Adam Cole came out, but that's a big time match to start off a Dynamite with. And I think the idea of doing that, and it made all the sense in the world given what happened in the main event, but I've liked this new direction over the last couple of weeks, and it started with Claudio and Phoenix, you know, about 4 or 5 weeks ago when they started that episode out and said, all right, Dynamite is, you know, these guys are, they came in cold open right to those guys in the ring bouncing, ready to go. You know what I mean? Just saying like, oh, they want to tear each other apart or whatever. And since then, we've had really good, hot beginnings to Dynamite, and I think that's a really, really smart idea. And starting off this way with as big of a match as you can make in the company with Adam Cole and MJF and an eliminator match just starts the crowd off super hot, and then they have no choice but to pretty much stay hot the rest of the night if you keep them engaged and keep them, you know, at the top with great matches, and they did. And this was a testament to how AEW booked the show and this crowd for sticking with it the whole time too, because they were, from the moment this show started until the moment it ended, they were pretty much all on board with everything going on, and it made for just a very, very exciting show.
Yeah, there was a point in that Double or Nothing build where they'd started off Dynamites with promos, and some of them were short ones, some of them were long, but it had gotten away from that original like idea of Dynamite where show starts, we're kicking things off with action. You know, they do that on Rampage it's like pretty much every week since that show started. Of show starts, guys are in the ring, bell rings.
Yeah,
and I prefer that greatly, especially when we are getting matches like MJF versus Adam Cole.
Yeah. So we're back, of course, in DC, where it all started for Dynamite, October 2019. Again, October 2019 is so long ago, and this company's been around for so long, yet people still treat it like this fledgling startup that can just, you know, break at any moment and collapse at any moment and die at any moment. It's been around since October 2019, this show Dynamite. The company itself has been around since May 2019. That's so long, and we're still treating it with like, I don't know, like, I don't know, this one thing's going to happen and it's all going to go away. And it's like, I don't know, man, it's been around for a while. Like in the life cycle of pro wrestling from, you know, God, it's been around forever. It's been multiple years, right? Like, it's like, why we gotta just move fast like this? Oh, I don't know. Like, if they're gonna do this, it's like, all right, it's fine. It's fine. It's been around since October 2019. Things are okay. I did actually look back. Sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to note that Excalibur noted that it was 193 weeks ago that Dynamite started in DC. He noted the number of weeks,
the exact episode date. Yeah.
And it got me curious. I looked it up. Would you like to guess how many weeks WCW Nitro ran?
Oh, great. Okay.
First,
yes.
Let me ask first. 2-part question. Over, under 193, and then how many weeks, like a specific number?
I would say Nitro over 193, but not that much over. I would say like 210, 215, somewhere in that range.
290 is the number that I got with my math from 95 to 01.
So pretty
if
close.
Someone would like to correct me, then you're free to.
I just correct. All right. In the No Dopes chat room, they don't correct. All right, no, get out of here.
Oh yeah. Andrew Rich he'll figure me out in a second.
So that's so they're still they're still a little ways away, but they're almost there. You know what I mean? They're pretty damn close.
52 weeks a year.
Yeah,
that's about right. Like 2 more years.
Yeah, they're gonna get there.
About 6. Yeah.
You know what it was.
They will get there, pass them, and Yeah, then Eric Bischoff will have something else to complain about.
Right. You'll have to come
That
with
you
a new
don't
grift.
have to listen to,
Right.
but
Or
you'll
engage
listen to
with
it anyway.
Or engage with, or retweet, or quote tweet, or no, you don't have to. You could just ignore these people and not talk about them. But the allure is too much. MJF on that first episode of Dynamite, I looked it up. He defeated Brandon Cutler on that night in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. So a little bit bigger of a matchup here for him against Adam Cole in the Eliminator match. Super hot crowd. Just a perfect way to start an episode of Dynamite. The crowd goes standing ovation before the match even begins. We get the bell pop. You know I love a bell pop suit. We got a big bell pop.
I noted it.
Oh, just a great bell pop. And then we had a fucking kick-ass match. This is how Dynamite should start. A bunch of stuff happened here. I mean, MJF immediately, he gets kind of pissed after a couple moves, goes outside of the ring, flips popcorn on someone, knocks some kid's hat off, eliciting asshole chants as well. So at least it wasn't a kid. He didn't throw gin or whatever, or whiskey on some child again. I forget. Did we ever figure out what the drink actually was? I don't know if anybody ever.
I think it was vodka.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that
looked like
right,
a big. That looked like a.
That's a big old
pour.
vodka. That was a big old vodka that mom had.
That was that was half a cup, if not more, and that.
So honestly, even if she had vodka in that cup,
seems like that would be a lot.
Yeah, even if she had vodka in that cup, MJF did her a favor, because if she was driving that child home later, that could have become a real issue. So MJF actually a good guy for throwing the vodka on the child. But
salt of the earth, they call it.
Exactly. Yeah. So speaking of, MJF did a lot of work here focusing on Cole's arm to weaken him for that salt of the earth. MJF teases a super kick. Cole is on it, though. He super kicks MJF, busts his mouth open. We do get to a major spot here, though, as Cole goes for a backbreaker, but his knee buckles. So he starts selling the elbow and the arm and the knee. So everything's hurting on Adam Cole right now. We go to a commercial. We come back. Just great action. Solid back and forth wrestling. Super kick from Cole. A big layer from MJF. Standing ovation from the crowd. And I just noted this, and I'm curious what your thought is too. Cole needed a match like this in AEW. We have been talking about it on the flagship, that Adam Cole just hasn't quite had this kind of match on AEW yet. And if you weren't watching Adam Cole in Ring of Honor and weren't watching Adam Cole in NXT, you might be like, well, what? I don't know if I fully get this guy. I don't know if I fully understand this guy. A match like this makes it so it's like, oh yeah, this guy can have really, really high level matches. So I was so glad to see him out here having this kick-ass match with a crowd behind him. And it's like he desperately needed a match like this in AEW.
He feels like a red hot challenger now. He feels like a guy where it's like, okay, he is on the level of like a Hangman or a Mox or an Omega. Because like you said, he had like the only match that comes to mind is the Hangman match from, I think it was Revolution. Whichever one had the dog collar match on it, I think it was.
Yeah, that'd be Revolution, I believe.
Yeah, so that was the last one, and then he was out for a year, and then he has that disaster with Jericho. And so coming into this, I was out on Cole, but him and MJF, they really came through here, and this, like, the booking here was fantastic. These two came through in the ring, and it's got Adam Cole set up to be a really big time player. And
absolutely,
it's gonna have people really wanting to see this rematch and really wanting to see Adam Cole win this belt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a phenomenal job in this match. So after we get that. Oh, go ahead.
One thing I want to know, early on, the first like big move of the match, MJF, he hits what I am told is the Peach Thunder Driver. It's like that. He hooks the arm and picks him up upside down. All right, we know MJF is a big wrestling fan. He says all the stuff about New Japan. He's watching tapes. He's watching everything.
Oh yeah,
right?
He's a total nerd. Yeah, total nerd.
Do you think he knows who Momo Watanabe is?
Yeah, I think he does. I don't think it's an accident. I don't know. Or at least follows a GIF account. Or follows a GIF account and saw it and was like, that's cool, I'm doing that.
That's more what I think. Yeah. I don't think he's ever watched a Momo Watanabe match full on through. I don't think he can tell you what unit Miss Momo Watanabe is in.
Yeah, I don't know if he would go that far.
I also couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I also couldn't tell you what unit she's in.
I was gonna say I know of her, but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
Queen's Quest.
Sure.
The Cosmic Angels.
Yeah,
sure.
She's in the Magical Sugar Rabbits, or that's not the right company. But anyway, no, yeah, he's a big wrestling nerd.
Yeah,
I know he is.
will get on you for that one.
Yeah, well, he's a big wrestling nerd. I don't know. Probably a GIF account, maybe. I would say, but I don't know. I would not be surprised if there was a hype Stardom match or a hyped, Joshi match, and someone said, "Hey, MJF, check this thing out," and he did. Like, I don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility for him. He's a much bigger wrestling nerd than he lets on, or that a lot of people probably think he is. He's a student of the game, and that's why he's as good as he is at all aspects of the game too. These other guys are, they think it's lame to watch old tapes or whatever. Not MJF, man. He studies this like few people do. So. As far
he's
as
a bigger nerd than me if he's watching Stardom.
right.
We're behind the paywall. I'll let it fly.
Yeah, go ahead. It's you, and then you leave, and then you can go. Yeah, they can send their complaints to Brian Alvarez if they got a problem with it. So tell Josh Nason it's his fault now. And MJF hits the heat seeker, his draping pile driver, and Cole sells it like he's having issues with his head, which is a good spot here. Obviously, with the concussion issues, it's a great way to sell the impact of the pile driver, particularly after they did a tombstone on the apron earlier in the match. MJF then puts Cole on a table on the outside, goes off the top rope for an elbow drop, nails it perfectly. MJF even made sure to land more towards Cole's arm, like he had been working over the entire match. And Excalibur smartly, points out that, hey, I think he, really made sure that he got that elbow right into the arm or whatever. And I just wrote here in my notes, this is the opener of a TV show, Suit, and people complain about this show. This is the opener.
This is gonna be like toward the top of the Dynamite dozen this year, like of the best matches of the year, and this was the start of the show.
Yeah, the opener, just an episode of free television on TBS that we all could watch. It's just absurd.
Like, it's matches like this. It's why I do the Dynamite dozen. It's to remind people, hey, we're getting all this for free.
Yeah, on Dynamite for free. You just got to turn your TV on, and these are the matches you're gonna get. It's absurd, and it got better. It got better because Adam Cole uses the apron himself, does a straight jacket German. That's the hardest part of the ring, by the way. I don't know if you were aware of that, Suit.
I've heard. I've been told.
Yeah. So we get a ref bump.
It was around.
Oh, sorry.
It was around here. The crowd plugged the video game.
Oh yeah, right. They played forever. Yeah. I was really hoping. Yeah. And I don't think Excalibur pounced on it. I really thought he was going to be like, "Oh, Fight Forever coming out June 29th," or whatever, and all the systems. Like, I'm sure he didn't want to break up like what was a really, really important part of the match to hype the game, but he probably should have. That would have been pretty fun. But you're right. Yeah, the Fight Forever chant.
That game's looking good, by the way.
It looks fun. You know what I mean? It looks fun, and it's been so long since it's been a fun wrestling game. There's been good wrestling games. There's been good-looking wrestling games. There's been wrestling, but there hasn't really been a whole lot of fun wrestling games in a while, and I think I'm ready for a fun wrestling game again. So I'm
going arcadey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, love it.
More sports need to go arcades, like more arcade style. You can look good and make sure it's fun. Make me want to play the game.
Right, give me the bigs.
Game all day.
Give me the bigs. Give me NBA Street. Give me NFL Street.
Yes.
Give me that stuff again. And EA Big. We need EA Big
my
back.
Language.
Bring EA Big back. Anyway. So we get a ref bump here. Adam Cole runs in the ref after an O'Connor roll. MJF immediately runs out to get the title and hit Cole with it. You're not going to believe this, Suit, but there was an Eddie Guerrero tribute spot in this professional wrestling match. I know you might have missed it. I mean, this happens so infrequently that you may have not known this was an Eddie Guerrero tribute spot here where MJF throws the title to Cole, gets on the ground like he's going to pretend that Cole hit him with the title or whatever, but in a change, a complete diversion from the way that the Eddie Guerrero spot usually works. Bryce is just about to get up, but then he collapses again. And then they do a great, so perfect. They do a great camera shot of MJF just being like, "Oh fuck," like, God damn it, and
you can buy that. You can buy that as a finish because like a month ago they did that with Sammy and Darby, where they did the same spot, but the ref saw it and they called the DQ. So they a little bit of a callback, but they kind of inverted the the ending
Yep.
of it.
Mm-hmm. And what's cool about this too is you can also suspend the disbelief that Bryce knew that this was happening and collapsed. Like you could say either he collapsed because he wasn't fully ready to get up, or he realized that what MJF was doing and collapsed again, because there's also been that background of Bryce and MJF. Like, we're going to talk about it later in just a couple of minutes here, where Bryce, knows what MJF is up to, knows his tricks, knows his game. He's a smart referee. He's not an idiot. He's not a dullard like some referees who just go out there and just like have no idea what's going on or whatever. And so like the Roman Reigns thing that WWE does, where like these referees are just like, oh, I've been knocked down. Oh, I've just, they don't bring extra referees out. Nobody stops Roman Reigns from doing Roman Reigns things. We're starting to get Bryce here, who's becoming aware of MJF's game. And yeah, I love this idea here that maybe he realized what MJF was going to do and then collapsed and was like, Adam, take it away. Knock his ass out. I don't care. Like, and that's cool. Like, we should have the referees get pissed at MJF. Like, the referees should be like, no, fuck this guy. This guy always cheats. He bumps us. He beats us. Like, it's okay that the referee is maybe not out and out, like, helping the other guy win. But if he has an opportunity to kind of, sit down for another minute or so, sit down for another minute or so. Let Adam Cole, decide if he wants to use the title or not, which he did. He hits MJF with a huge pop from the crowd, hits the boom, only gets a 2 count, though. And here is where I wrote again that this match is on Dynamite, suit on free TV. Free TV. And people have the audacity to bring up like 4-minute Nitro matches in GIF form and try to claim like that stupid Juventud Guerrero Eddie Guerrero match that was making the rounds last week. Did you see that? People are like, yeah, this is when wrestling was good on TV, and it's like, shut the fuck up. That was like a 5-minute match. It was perfectly okay. Like, shut up. Like, what are you doing?
It was a good little match.
This
is on a different level.
Yeah, Nitro had a lot of good little matches, man. I love WCW Nitro. A lot of good little matches on WCW Nitro. Fuck off with like, that's when we used to get real good matches on TV. Look at this. This match was incredible. So then MJF slides the ring on, the fucking ring. We get a perfect camera shot of him doing it. You can tell that Bryce can't see. You can tell that Adam Cole can't see.
After he low-blowed the ref, by the way.
Yes, yeah, right, of course. Like
low-blowed Cole, I mean.
Right. So then Bryce is obviously checking on Cole, and you could see that they're both looking and they're both distracted, whatever. So he goes to hit Cole, but again, Bryce is there to stop it. He knows the game. He understands what MJF is going to do. He's one step ahead of MJF, and I think that's a really, really cool story to tell. Cole hits a super kick, Panama Sunrise, the boom. 1, 2, ding, 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 as the bell rings just as Bryce is about to hit the mat. 30-minute time limit draw. Now, Suit, I was offline. I was kind of catching up. I missed the first couple minutes. I was doing the DVR thing where I was fast forwarding. So I stayed offline. What was people's feedback on this finish? Were there a lot of stopwatch people that were like, actually, it was 28 minutes? And because what was the legit time? I don't know if anybody has that out there, if any stopwatch people have figured that out of what this exactly was. I mean, I don't care if it was like, as long as it wasn't like 7 minutes off. And I feel like it was probably like, I don't know, a couple, maybe 30 seconds off or 45 seconds off or whatever. It was close enough, right?
Well, I checked. Well, I was also offline. I was taking notes, and I kind of like to stay off Twitter. Like normally I'll tweet during Dynamite, but I'll just like leave it in a thread. So I like to just like give my own opinions and like soak all that in later. But I did check my clock. It was 7:34 when the match ended. So, 4 minutes of intros, bell ringing. I could buy that being a shoot 30 minutes. I can take a look right now and check.
Yeah, I know I saw some people going around with like 28:59 or something like that, or 29:15, like close enough. At least it wasn't like 7 minutes off or whatever. It close enough. And honestly, I don't know about you. As I was watching this match, I didn't even think for a second that we were going to get a time limit draw. I didn't even think for a second, 30 minutes has elapsed. Like, that was how good this match was and how enthralled I was with everything, that when that bell rang, I just was like, oh, God, yeah, right. I was like, that's a great finish there. I like how they did that, but they did a great job of not really overly hinting at it either. You didn't have Excalibur being like, oh, we're getting pretty close to the 30-minute time limit here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't do that, which I think is a smart way. They kind of laid out and let you be completely surprised that this thing went to 30-minute time limit. And I know I was stunned when that bell rang, and I was like, what? Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a great piece of booking. You have Adam Cole. He had him beat. But MJF can sit there and say, well, too bad. Had me beat is not beat, so you don't get a rematch. And now you get to build Adam Cole coming out of here, and you can push this thing to All Out or All In or whenever you want to really pay this off. And coming into this, I was wondering, like, are they gonna run this back at like Forbidden Door or something? Like, this feels really close, but this time limit draw, you can really push this thing out a lot further. So
yeah, it was masterful stuff. Yeah, masterful booking. Absolutely. There, because there was a lot of people being like, oh geez, I don't know if I can stand like 8 weeks of Adam Cole and MJF hype or whatever. Well, now you don't have to. You got the match here. Cole had the win, time limit draw. MJF can kind of run away from him for now. You know what I mean? Because if Cole wins this match, which he if I was booking it and I didn't think about the time limit draw, you're gonna have Adam Cole win this match and say, all right, I'm gonna get that title shot or whatever at, you said, All In, All Out, whatever. Now you can kind of kick the can down the road a little bit, where MJF can be like, buddy, you had your chance and you couldn't do it, so I'm not giving you another title shot. Like, why should you get a title shot? Like, you didn't beat me. And Adam Cole can say, like, everybody knows I was gonna beat you. The time limit, like, you were done. I had you. You were done. It was over. I was gonna win. And that's a great way to kind of let us, keep them apart from each other for a little bit. But then when you want to bring that back, you got this ready-made story here. MJF's going to do something different at Forbidden Door. And when you're ready, when Forbidden Door is done and you're ready to start building All In or All Out or whatever, now you can run it back. And these guys don't have to be joined at the hip now for the next, 5 weeks or whatever, but you can just bring it back whenever you need to bring it back for whatever match you want them to have. And I think that's a perfect way to get around it. And I don't think anybody felt cheated either. Right? And if you did, I mean, I don't know, like, you're just nuts, because there's no way that you could feel cheated by having this great of a match and that visual of Adam Cole having the win, and us knowing that AEW is going to follow up on that. I mean, I have enough, trust in AEW and Tony Khan to know that this will be followed up on, and Adam Cole will get that title shot eventually. It's just he's gonna have to, like you said, build himself back up and really prove that he belongs there again, and need to get back up to that level again. And then MJF will have no choice but to give him that rematch. And like you said, Adam Cole very well could win that match, and very well could win the AEW title. But after the match, Cole asked for 5 more minutes. MJF is like, fuck off, I'm not getting 5 more minutes. Gets out, as he should. There's no reason to do that. And then he leaves the ring, and that was just great. Adam Cole so badly needed that match in his AEW resume. Suit, I need the stars. What do you star rating this bad boy?
4.5.
No,
4.5 stars.
You coward. I went 4.5 too. I went 4.5 too. So I was glad you said it first. That's why I asked you. You coward. You coward, Suit. Yeah, don't ask what my rating was. It was exactly the same.
Cage Match has this as a 30-minute draw, and I will take their word for it because they have times for everything else.
Yeah, they got 8:48 on the. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Then if they did it at exactly 30, holy shit! Like, how good is that?
Like, that's just high level pro work. If they were able to time that out
to the
for exactly 30 minutes with
bell.
because they screwed that up at a WrestleMania, didn't they? Where they it was some hardcore. It was the hardcore thing at WrestleMania 2000, and it was like 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like Hardcore Holly.
Right.
It was like Hardcore Holly's supposed to like Crash Holly's supposed to retain the title because the clock runs out, but the ref screws up the count even though they have a clock on the screen.
Yeah, and Hardcore Holly
so they
leaves.
just have to give the title to Hardcore Holly, right. Looking as mad as anyone that's ever won a WrestleMania match.
I do remember that now. Yeah, the Hardcore title battle royal. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was like the biggest collection of dorks. I definitely remember the Mean Street Posse and like Funaki being in it. It's just like, oh god, it's like Kai and Tai.
Viscera got a payday.
Yeah. I'm sure. I don't know. I think everybody in the match. I'm pretty sure everybody in the match won the Hardcore title at some point during the match as well.
Let me take a look.
Particularly Pete Gas. Anyway. I just hope that Pete Gas got it at least once.
Fat ass Pete Gas, as a test one's called. Here we go. All right, WrestleMania 2000.
Okay.
Hardcore title, 15-minute time limit battle royal. That was not a battle royal, but okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not a battle royal. But that's...
Hardcore Holly defeats Crash Holly.
Okay.
Bradshaw, Farouk, Funaki, Taka Michinoku, the Mean Street Posse.
Yes, all of them, right? Joey, Rodney, Pete, we got them all.
Joey, Rodney, and Pete. My eyes were scrolling over Rodney.
Not
Mosh,
Rodney Mack. That was not Rodney
Thrasher.
Mack. I know you're right. No, that was
not that Rodney.
Right.
Very different Rodney. Rodney Mack from New Orleans, by the way.
There it is.
Mosh, Thrasher, Viscera, and 2 months after his debut in Madison Square Garden.
Oh no.
Taz.
Oh.
2Z's Taz.
Oh God. 2 months after debuting, ending Kurt Angle's win streak, and now he's battling Pete Gas for the hardcore title. Oh God.
Hitting Bradshaw with a cookie sheet.
God damn it. Oh, poor Taz. But all right, that was just incredible way to open up Dynamite. And then, of course, at this point, just to keep this train rolling, we get that CM Punk pre-tape that I mentioned at the top of the show. He's working out. He's rehabbing his injury. They don't mention anything else. They just said, hey, he's rehabbing his injury, but he's back. And he's back and he says, I'm back for the same reason I came in the first place. There's still things I need to do. Saturday, June 17th at the United Center. I don't know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do when I have that microphone in my hand, but I have a lot of things to get off my chest. And then they show him sitting down in the middle of the ring. That's the last visual you get, is him sitting down in that middle of the ring. Oh boy. Great video here. And like we talked about at the top, that you needed a video like this to really know that it's true. It's happening. Collision's there. Punk's going to be there. He's all in. Everyone's aligned here. So let's go. And I am way more hyped for Collision after seeing that video than I was prior to this week's Dynamite, for sure.
You think Punk throws some shots?
There's no way he doesn't, right?
It's him.
It's
apparently Hangman took a shot last week. I missed it.
Did he?
Apparently when they were on the big screen talking to the Blackpool Combat Club, and he said, great match. I didn't see it, but it sounded great. And apparently that's something Punk said to one of them. That's what I'm told.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Lore. We got the lore. I mean, he's gonna, because it's Phil Brooks. Like, he's gonna say something. You know what I mean? Like, will he explicitly be like, yeah, I beat the shit out of the Young Bucks and I'll do it again? Like, I don't know if he'll say that, but he's gonna say something. It's Phil Brooks, and he's gonna have a microphone in his hand. Like, you think he's just going to be like, I've had this torn tricep and now I'm ready to come back? Like, no, he's going to do something or say something or wink or nudge or wave or something, right? There's no way he doesn't say anything.
Someone's going to chant something in the crowd, and
this is how it all started, remember?
He will intend not to, but then someone will set him off, and he will then do it because
he's Phil Brooks.
Punk, not great at controlling himself.
No. That's how this whole thing started. Remember that one fan said a thing. CM Punk called him fat, said he never had sex, and then he was pretty much off the rails from that point forward. Like, he never got back on the train, and it all led to the Nick Hausman. Hey, what about Colt? And into the and then it all came rolling off that one fan.
Nick Hausman screwing up his rant because he isn't friends with Colt Cabana.
Right, and then oh my god. That's
one of my just powers through.
That's one of my favorite what ifs. Like, what if Hausman was just like, yeah, no, man, like, what do you? I guess it was the same. Like, or did it enrage him more that he had this idea, he was ready to go, and then Hausman blew up a spot. He was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm out now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I wonder if he had a whole thing ready to go, but then Hausman's like, we're not really friends, and he was just like, fuck, the Young Bucks, I hate them. You know, that's my working theory.
Show goes on.
Yeah, that was my working theory.
Show goes on.
He maybe had a different path that he was going to go down. Then Hausman threw up his spot, and he was just like, I'm done. I don't need this shit anymore. So who knows? But yeah, one rogue Colt Cabana chant can throw the whole thing for a loop. And they're going to be in Chicago, and Colt is pretty well known in that city. So we're going to see what happens. So back from that pre-match promo, we get Renee in the ring, and she introduces Sammy Guevara, who we haven't seen since Double or Nothing. It was, of course, the same night that him and Tay Mello announced that they were having a child. He tells Renee it's a girl. And he says at some point soon, he's going to have his baby girl in one arm and he's going to be holding the AEW title in his other, to which the fans responded with, boo!
It was mixed. But it was like mixed. There were strong boos in there.
I think people were cheering the baby because it was like, with my baby girl, yeah, and the title, and they're like, just a baby, baby.
By Sammy.
Yeah.
Babies and dogs, man. Babies and dogs.
Yeah, he's like, oh, come on, you can't boo me as I'm holding a child. This is ridiculous. Yeah, like
the Ricky Steamboat theory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dusty Baker used to be a thing, and I don't know if he did it in San Francisco as much as he did it in Chicago when he was managing the Cubs, but like anytime they had like a horrible game or whatever, he had his son like on the table with them, and he was like, yeah, so what do you guys want to talk about? And everyone's just like, Dusty, everybody was ready to just ask him like, yeah, you screwed this up, you're fucking this up or whatever, and he's like, you can't, you're not gonna, I got Darren right here, you're not gonna ask all these questions when Darren is sitting right here, and they never did, and it was a masterful job where he just had to find his kid out of the crowd. Get him over here. I need him to deflect here. But yeah, smart
basketball player going 2 for 20 in the playoffs and bringing their kid up to the podium.
right. Yeah, say let her play with the microphone and stuff like Curry. But Sammy says he has some tough decisions to make in AEW, and this brings out Darby Allin. And Darby says the fans are just now starting to love you again. And I mean, they kind of, I don't know if love might be a little strong. And Darby says, Sammy, are you ever going to leave the shadow of the JAS? And oh, you can't say that because that brings out Chris Jericho, and he is in a very surly mood. He is not happy. His music's playing. He says, shut that off. I don't want to hear it anymore. So he shuts off Judas. He asks Sammy why he never called him when he was in pursuit of MJF's title. And Sammy says, well, hey, why'd you never call me when you lost to Adam Cole twice? And Chris Jericho not happy about this fact being thrown back in his face. So there we go. Darby then busts in and says, you call yourself a wizard, but when you're in the ring these days, the magic is gone. And Jericho's just like, oh, get out of here, you dork. And says, all right. So, yeah, he says, all right, me and Sammy are going to beat your ass 2-on-1. And Darby says, but I'm not alone. And that brings out Sting, who comes out and evens the odds. And Excalibur says the first time Jericho and Sting have been in the ring together. And I double-checked, and unbelievably, I don't know, maybe they were in the ring both at the same time during an episode of AEW or during some NWO beatdown. But otherwise, in terms of a match, never, ever, ever have those two guys been in the ring together. I even thought, there's got to be a World War III or whatever. No, never. Not a single match. I was just
going on Cage Match to look up World War III.
You can double-check my work. You can double-check my work.
And those two who worked in the company
yes.
and were pushed.
Yes.
And those two were never in the ring for a World War III.
I was like, I'm going to get Excalibur. I'm sure World War III in 1996 or whatever. Nope. Never. Never once in the ring together. That's wild. Yeah, it absolutely wild. 1999, like never, you know what I mean? Like, no, just never, ever, ever in the ring together. And, well, it's going to happen very soon. So we get, back from commercial. We get Sonata. Sonata's here. He says on June 25th, he wants to show the world the strength of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And he's offering an open challenge at Forbidden Door, and he looks forward to see who's going to step up. And we'll talk about that in a little bit because a man stepped up.
He got the Sonata pop when his face showed up on the screen.
It's true.
It was very quiet.
A little quiet. I'm sure they turned that audio down. I don't know, but yeah.
I do think Keith Lee was coming out at the time. I think they were doing entrances in fairness. In fairness to Sonata.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I at this point, too, and we should note that, like, we're running low on it because guys are hitting the fucking ring. Guys are already in the ring. Things are good. We're definitely running out of time with the show, which is fine. You know what I mean? I will take a Dynamite where things are moving fast and entrances are skipped or whatever to get a match like we got in that opener and to get a promo like we got with Jericho and Sting or whatever, hitting each other with bats in the ring or whatever. Hitting their bats. They weren't hitting each other. They were hitting their bats very loudly as I started to worry, like, Stinger, like, if Jericho lets go of that bat, like, there's going to be a metal bat flying into an aluminum bat flying into the crowd. Like, take it easy there with the bat shots, man. Calm down.
Yeah, those bats were pinging. They're College World Series ready, baby.
They are. The Omaha. That's good. Should have been taking place in Omaha.
Yeah,
Oral
LSU
Roberts.
headed to Omaha, by the way.
Yeah, Oral
There you
Roberts.
go.
I don't know any of the other teams. I'm just gonna assume LSU. You said LSU. Yeah. Who else is in the College World Series?
I think Baylor got in because Texas lost a fly ball in the lights.
Oh.
Like they lost it in the lights or in the sun, and they were running it out, but the ball dropped, and then the guy crosses the plate, and Baylor wins on a walk-off pop-up.
Awful. Yeah, I think TCU might be there too. I don't know. I think, but I always like watching the College World Series. So, like the bing of the bat. That's always fun. So, as I said here, we're running low on time, so guys are getting in the ring. The whole
big Heyman special here.
Yeah, Heyman special.
Promo leads right into the match.
Yeah, we're Darby's already out there, Sting's already out there. We're good. Keith Lee comes down. He doesn't have a beard anymore. I know on Twitter he alluded to some type of accident that occurred earlier. I don't know if he was shaving and he thought he had the guard on, and then the guard fell off, and he was just like, "Fuck it, I don't have a beard anymore." So he didn't have a beard. What'd you think of beardless Keith Lee? Pro, con, yes, yay, nay?
He looked fine.
Okay.
He looks like Keith Lee.
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, I don't get too obsessed with Keith Lee's look these days. So he alluded, like I said, to some type of accident earlier. Orange Cassidy, though, they did save the Orange Cassidy pop for him, so he comes out again to a massive pop. So then we see Brian Cage on the outside because it's the Mogul Embassy here. Brian Cage has his face painted. What I thought was like a tribute to Demolition, or like he read our article this week he read Sean Cedar's article this week on voiceswrestling.com and thought he was going to bring back the Devastation Corporation from Chikara or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what he's doing here, but it fucking rocks. And I love it. Like, I love the Demolition look. I like the muscle bound, leather bound, face painted guy. They later said it was done to look like Sting, but he really looks like a member of Devastation Corporation. He doesn't look at all like Sting, right?
That was Sting across the little like lightning bolt across the face or whatever.
Yeah, that was Master Blaster or Mick Master Blaster, whatever the fuck the Devastation Corporation.
Blaster McMassive.
Yeah, Blaster McMassive.
I have a Devastation Corporation bomber jacket in my closet.
Oh hell yeah! Now. What was it? It was Blaster McMassive, and then Max Smashmaster, right? Max Smashmaster.
And they had a third Flex Rumble Crunch.
Of course, Flex Rumble Crunch. Yes. Chikara used to be good. Chikara used to be good. So, yeah.
But yeah, I guess Cage was a little stinger back in the day, back in Chico, California.
Well, regardless of what he did, he needs to just have the face paint forever because I think the face paint rocks. And I'm down.
Good look.
A really good look. The muscles, the face paint, I think it's good. Let's do it. I'm in for it being his full-time look moving forward. It's Brian Cage, you know what I mean? It's better than like the fake Terminator look and anything. Just wear the face paint. I think I like it. So, again, like I said, we're
Party City Terminator.
Yeah, right.
The what's that Halloween store? The Spirit Halloween.
The Spirit Halloween, yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah. Oh, God.
The Terminator with no budget.
Right. Yeah.
The Bollywood Terminator. That's it.
Bollywood Terminator. Yeah. So, as I said, we're working fast here, and the match starts. Cassidy and Darby hit 2 suicide dives to start off the match. Guys are just flying all over the ring. Back from commercial, we slow things down for like 2 minutes to get a Keith Lee hot tag. He clears the ring, and Strickland and the numbers are too much for him. They take him out. And then, like, I don't know, the match just for the next 5 minutes. Suit, I don't even know if you took notes for this. I don't know how you're going to possibly take play-by-play notes for here, because 8 guys just did 10,000 things. Everybody did a ton of shit. Then out of nowhere, Sting hits a Scorpion Death Drop on Brian Cage for the win. As Tony Schiavone says, God, I love pro wrestling.
For this, I wrote finisher flurry, dives aplenty. And that's how you cover 3 minutes of a closing stretch.
There's no better way to write that down. That is smart. That's why you work smarter, not harder, Suit. That is how you do it. Because that was a finisher flurry. A bunch of shit happened. Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop on Brian Cage, and Tony Schiavone, who once hated pro wrestling because of TNA and WCW, says, God, I love pro wrestling. We're back. We got Tony back all the way, and he loves it so much. And then we get 0.0004 seconds of Daniel Garcia watching the match, and he's not impressed, and then we go back. And it's like, oh, all right.
I want to talk about this a little bit. The Embassy, they are a good trio. They got the triple power bombs going. They hit that one crazy it was like a triple power bomb to Keith Lee out of the corner, and Swerve stomped him on the way down, or he rode him down on a stomp in a triple power bomb. Like, this act, like, they have gotten their reps in on Ring of Honor. I have seen more Embassy 6-man squashes than you can shake a stick at, but they are working out because these guys are a good little group.
It's a pretty well-oiled machine at this point. I like it. They look the part. They look good. Swerve finally feels like he has a good crew around him that kind of fits his role. I'm never going to complain about Prince Nana. You know what I mean? Give me a Prince Nana.
Absolutely.
Never going to complain. And like, yeah, the other guys they're getting their reps. They're working out pretty well. It's a good use of Brian Cage. It's a good use of those guys. They're muscle bound. They're big. They're beefy. Like, I'm in. It was a weird pairing at first. It was kind of, it felt like they were just lumping these guys together, but sometimes these things take time, and we're starting to see it and starting to feel it a little bit. So, yeah, I'm right with you.
The gates are getting smarter too, because when they were coming back from break and Swerve was working over Darby, the crowd started chanting, "We want Sting," and so Toa Liona immediately gets in the ring, knocks him off the apron, gets the heat.
Yeah,
like, that's just
smart wrestling. Smart wrestling 101.
Yes.
Yeah, that dude's good. That dude is really good, by the way.
He is.
He's going to be a guy. He's going to be a guy. Keep an eye on him.
I went 4 on this. 4 stars.
Yeah, that's
4 stars.
Yeah.
Big party. Yeah,
it was really good. It was really, really good action with everybody playing their part pretty perfectly and just nonstop action. I'm right with you there on that 4 stars. And we also had a very brief moment, which I just, for people watching on Instant Reaction Live, you may have saw the Easter egg. A random no appeared on the screen for like 15 seconds, and a random no may have appeared on our screen here on this. We had the same, our wires must have been crossed from AEW Dynamite. So I don't know what that was. It's just like they went to a camera and it just said no, and then it just went away. And then people had to report that no, everybody saw that no, because everybody was just like, is that just me or did I just see no? And it's like, no, it was no. It just, for some reason on the screen, it just said no for a second. So, I don't know.
We haven't seen Bray Wyatt in a while, so.
Oh God, an Easter egg. You're right.
Maybe Tony got he got antsy. I don't know.
He saw him at that party. What was it? Chris Jericho's birthday party. That, like, the first time they asked Tony Khan about at one of the media calls, and they asked him about, hey, what do you think about Bray Wyatt? And he was just like, I saw him at Chris Jericho's party. It's like,
good
okay,
guy.
Good guy. It's just like, all right, next question. So I love that. The best way to answer, no, not really interested. Good guy though. Good guy. We get a recap of last week's attack on Ricky Starks with the Guns and Bullet Club Gold. Renee is backstage. She's with the Guns. She wants to know their relationship to the Bullet Club. They say they don't know what Renee is talking about, and all they are worried about is themselves. They say they're the best tag team in AEW. More than that, they're the best brother tag team in AEW. And next week, they're going to challenge the Hardy Boys in Chicago. And wouldn't you know it, Suit, I have tickets, so great. I get to watch fucking Matt Hardy live again. God damn it. He's been live at every AEW show I've gone to. Enough.
They want you to do the dance, Rich.
Oh,
yeah. I'm very ready to slap a 1.5 stars on that one.
Yeah, God, I can't wait. The last time, I'll never forget. We were sitting basically, I think it was like second row at the most recent. It was like the Thanksgiving. It was the one that had one of the elite, Elite Death Triangle, a 6-man matches. The one I think it was the day before Thanksgiving or whatever. And Matt Hardy was wrestling, and the nurse is with me. And as loud as you can ever imagine, while nobody else is making noise because Matt Hardy's wrestling in the ring and having a bad match, she goes, "Oh, that's Matt Hardy?" As in, like, oh, that's what, because she knew what Matt Hardy was like, and she's like, "Oh, that's what he looks like now." And it was so loud, and I'm like, we're like 25 feet from Matt Hardy. Like, he heard that, right? Like, he absolutely heard that, and I was like, oh God, yeah, that's what he looks like. Cause
look, he knows.
Yeah, right. Like,
that's why he's doing the shtick.
Yeah, he's stuffing himself into those shirts. He knows what he's doing. So. when I'm putting a shirt that I know is not flattering on, I know it. I don't leave the house going like, yeah, that looks good. I'm like, yeah, man, all right. Well, I'm going to this wedding and I look like I'm stuffed in here, but you know what? This is all I got, so we're gonna deal with it and hope that the dancing starts quick so I can unbutton things, and then it just nobody cares anymore. Once the dancing starts and it gets dark and nobody cares what you look like. So just got to get through the reception and we'll be good.
Shuffle starts. We're good to go.
Right. Because it is a white person wedding. So yeah. Well, we'll get the Cupid Shuffle eventually, but yeah, once the chicken dance starts or the electric slide, you can really start. Oh
jeez, you're that white. Chicken dance.
I know. I'm sorry. I know. It's not good. It's an epidemic.
It's brutal. That is a Caucasian wedding.
It's so white. I know. And then poor dancing at the Cupid Shuffle where nobody really knows how to do the Cupid Shuffle, even though it's like a very easy song and it's been around for 30 years. It's like
30 years, the Cupid Shuffle?
Has it? It might be.
We're thinking of different songs. Not the Cupid Shuffle. That was like 2004.
Was it? Okay.
20 years.
That's 20 years then. You're right.
2007.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
You might have been thinking of like Cha-Cha Slide, I think I'm thinking of the Cha-Cha Slide. Yes.
That one's a lot older.
Yeah.
And that is also a song where they tell you what to do.
Right, but white people still don't know how to do it, myself included. Because, come on, you want us to have rhythm? And no, that's not going to happen. So, anyway, we move on to the TNT Championship here. Wardlow versus Jake Hager. Wardlow gets
By the way,
go ahead.
This is like the top of the second hour already.
Yeah.
We might be at like 8:15 already by the time this match is hitting the ring. Like,
yeah, it was starting to get like, all right, we're gonna need this pretty quickly. And so Wardlow gets his 1999 WCW Kevin Nash pyro, where it's just like, like there's just fire and fireworks and everything. They're like, cheer this man, please. And then while in the entrance wrap, again, like you're saying, they realize time is of the essence here. So Arn doesn't even come out. He comes out like a second later, and Hager is already attacking Wardlow as Arn is running through this. Which again, like we're running through the show, but look, I'm fine with it. Do we really need a 2-minute Jake Hager entrance? We don't. We really do not. We need action-packed Dynamites. We need more time for the main event stuff. We don't need time for Jake Hager doing anything. So then Jake Hager and Wardlow have a perfectly okay match. Like, I don't know if you have any strong thoughts on this match, but we get 2.0 run out. Arn Anderson stops them. Then Brock Anderson comes out to even the odds. Great. Then Wardlow hits a picture-perfect senton. The straps go down, 2 power bombs, and it's over. It was quick. It was basic, but honestly, it's fine. I didn't need anything more from this.
I had an idea for Wardlow, and this is like more of just a general thought. Would you put him in a tag team? Because I think he'd be a perfect hot tag. Like, just get a guy to sell, get a guy to talk, and then he does the hot tag, which is basically what he did here.
Yeah, that's man. I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet, but he's not. I mean,
you could go back to the single stuff.
Yeah, he's not over right now, so they might need to just. I would rather that than turning him heel, because I've seen a lot of people be like, "It's maybe time for a heel turn." I don't know if that's the right move. Maybe it is time to kind of do a jungle hook thing for Wardlow real quick. Yeah, who would you do though? Who would he be with? Not Brock Anderson. Let's not, don't will that into existence, because I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but like I do think like when more guys run out of stuff to do with singles, that you could just throw them in a tag team and see if it works, because like then you get something like Jungle Hook, then you get something like The Acclaimed, you get like Catch 22 in New Japan. Like those two had never been in a ring before, and like, a year later, they're one of the best tag teams in the world. So, I don't know. Stick them with somebody. Like, I don't know. Spears can sell,
something,
but he's like
very
bottom of the card. It's like, that'd be very hard to care about him. But but people cared most about him when he was doing this thing with Wardlow, when MJF had them paired up. So
right. Yeah, I mean, just it's something different.
It's just general idea I had.
No, and it's not a bad idea, because like I just don't know if this thing is working right now with Wardlow, and they're trying. They're gonna have him kind of squash people and hit power bombs and do that sort of stuff. But the Arn Anderson thing's weird. The Luchasaurus thing is weird. The Christian Cage thing is weird. It just feels like he's off right now. It's just like the vibes are off. So it's like I'm with you. You don't want to take him away. You don't want to have him like go off TV and then come back type thing. I guess you could if you really wanted to, but maybe a tag team or something different, some sort of pivot might not be the worst idea because it just feels like he's spinning his wheels and it's just not. It's not as over as it was, obviously, which is it's been since Double or Nothing 2022, basically. We're it's been like a year that we've been kind of chasing that ghost a little bit for Wardlow, and it's just they need something different, some sort of pivot. Something's got to change because it's just not quite working right now.
Yeah, this version of Wardlow has hit his peak, and now it's time for him to transition into something else, whether it be a heel turn or getting a partner or something.
Right. Similar to Jade. Like, I think the Jade thing was perfectly fine for as long as it lasted, but it reached its point and everybody was kind of ready. I think I'm kind of there with Wardlow, especially with this Arn thing where I'm like, I don't care about Arn Anderson. Like, I don't know why I'm supposed to care that this guy cares about Arn Anderson. It's just, it's all weird. And he's very overdue for something different, whatever that something is. I don't know exactly. They don't pay me the big bucks. That's why they pay Tony Khan the big bucks to figure out what that something is. So then Christian Cage and Luchasaurus appear on the screen, but we don't hear them. They're talking. We can't hear them. Whoops. Eventually, we do hear them. Cage says that Luchasaurus and Wardlow are going to happen at Collision. Then we see a bloody, battered Arn Anderson. A lot of Arn Anderson here. And then, I don't know, Luchasaurus and Wardlow at Collision, I guess.
This is the TNT titles, the Clubbering belt. This is the Haas belt. Big boy belt.
Yeah.
Joe, Hobbs, Wardlow, Hager here, Luchasaurus.
You know what team would rule? Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow. That team would rock. I know that they're on like completely opposite ends of whatever they're doing right now, but we can stop the QTV thing too. That stinks. We can stop this Wardlow thing. That stinks. It just they see each other, they walk past each other, and they're just like, they just grunt, and then they become a team. I think that could work.
Another team, Big Bill and Lance Archer.
Oh,
I think that'd be a good team.
Yeah,
skyscrapers kind of thing.
Hell yeah, yeah. You know what? We got Brian Cage dressing like a member of Demolition. I'm not going to do this. He's not Sting. He's a member of some Power and Paint team or whatever. I like it. We need to get back to 1989 tag teams. Enough of these young bucks and their super kicks and stuff. We need neck holds. We need, the trap holds, the Sid special trap hold, Dan Spivey. We need that sort of stuff. We got to bring that back. I'm with you. Let's get Wardlow and
hard punches in there.
Yeah, a lot more punches, a lot more kicks. Just more, slow those things down. Learn how to work a hold, kid. Something like that. So I'm with you. Yeah, that's Lance Archer and Big Bill. Yeah. I'm in. All right.
Get them in there with FTR. That's something. Oh. That's something.
Now I'm talking, man. I got to fire up EWR tonight and then book this. See how it goes. Send it to Tony. Be like, it's good. It's going great. Let me show you this stuff. So, we get Arn Anderson. He's bloodied and battered. I don't. Do you really care that Arn Anderson got beat up backstage? And how did he get beat up so quickly?
I thought he had a jam-related accident.
He was opening up
covered in.
Opening up a jar of marmalade and he tripped down the stairs. Because Arn wouldn't eat jelly, right? He's too southern for jelly, right?
I was thinking Smuckers.
You think he's just a generic Smuckers guy? Just generic grape Smuckers?
Care.
I think
jelly's jelly.
No. Jelly is not just jelly.
Been eating it for 60 years. He'll be eating it for another 40 or however long.
Wow. Well, he said, if you remember a couple weeks ago, he said Wardlow's going to bring AEW into the new millennium. So I don't know if he's going to be there to see that, but Arn Anderson's going to
like Walt Disney,
right? As Wardlow's Powerbomb Symphony guys, and the 2097, It's like, a couple more years and we're going to be in the new millennium here. Wardlow, putting the straps down. So
they're going to have his head in a jar like Richard Nixon in Futurama.
Bloodied. It's bloody too. It's just stuck in bloody. So anyway.
Meanwhile, Wardlow will look the same.
Yeah, he will be nothing will change. Because the modern medicine will prevent Wardlow from aging, which will be fantastic. But obviously Arn, nothing prevented that man from aging, including, being 32 years old and looking like he was 65. So, anyway, we get a pre-tape of Hiroshi Tanahashi, who says MJF, as long as you're champion, that belt won't shine. He says, face me 1-on-1. And I just wrote, fuck yes, that is the match to make. That is the one. I forget what side of it, of the conversation you were on, but we were having this discussion on the Voice of Wrestling staff Slack last week of what do you do with MJF at Forbidden Door? And I said he needs to face an old-time New Japan Pro Wrestling guy. He needs to face a representative of that company. And like Yuji Nagata is doing that stuff in All Japan, so he's out. You're not being Tatsumi Fujinami back or whatever, but he's got to face like one of those guys, like an MJM, a New Japan Pro Wrestling legend, like a stalwart of that company, because he's so disrespectful to New Japan. He's never given them respect. He's never given them an ounce of dignity or whatever. So he needs to face one of those guys. And someone mentioned Tanahashi, and I just said, yes, that is it. I forget, were you that person? Because if so, you were so right, and I'm so glad you came up with that.
That was me. I've been on this MJF Tanahashi thing for like a month now. And yeah, it's the perfect guy for New Japan to give for AEW to beat, because Tanahashi's Tanahashi, but he's not Tanahashi anymore. He's not pushed. He's not that big where he's, a loss will like derail things in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in this G1, he's gonna go like 4-3 or however. Like he'll, like I don't know if he'll go. Like I'm not even sure he'll go through in this G1 block. But so yeah, he's in the perfect spot, and he is the perfect guy for MJF, this New Japan disrespecter, to face off again. So. Good stuff here.
Yeah, this is absolutely the best match to do, and it can be a lot of bells and whistles. It can be a lot of, like you said, Tanahashi. There's not the expectation that Tanahashi is going to go out there and have a 5-star classic, because he can't do that anymore. But he can have a smart match. And when it's all said and done, who knows what these guys, because these are two just brilliant pro wrestlers. And MJF is the guy that just cannot give an ounce of respect to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's like, as long as you're champion, that belt won't shine. Face me 1-on-1, you coward. It's just like, I can't wait. That match is going to absolutely rule. And immediately after the video, Renee goes back. MJF is getting ice on his neck, and she says, it's official. It's you versus Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. And MJF goes, I'm going to say no. He says, I'm not going to give some title shot to some nobody from a rinky-dink indie in Japan. It's so good. MJF is the best. And he says, you can tell Tony Khan, I'm good. Not going to happen. And then he says, put the ice back on, and sends Renee packing. So
he's treating Hiroshi Tanahashi like he's man, I had a good name for this bit, and I don't remember it now. Who's someone from Zero?
I was going to say, you want someone from 0-1. I can give you a guy.
Who's that zombie guy from 666 that was on the junior show, the Junior All-Star show?
Oh, Anrio or whatever? Is that who you
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who even unfortunately 0-1 is in such a place now that I'm like, immediately I was just like, I don't know who to mention from 0-1 right away. It's gotten pretty bad there that especially with a bunch of other dudes making their way out of the company. So yeah, Daichi Hashimoto, we can say that, like he's Daichi Hashimoto or Anrio or whatever. So anyway, yeah, that's just awesome stuff. So then
somebody from Glade, give me somebody from 60 Seconds.
Oh God, Glade. I'm not the Glade correspondent, and that's, hey, someone's gonna get mad if you call that a rinky-dink indie. They're gonna be like, hey, wait a minute, sir, they had this. Yeah, you can add a a Bulk
Liam
Orchestra
Jones
guy.
Knows where to find me.
Yeah. Hayato Tamura. But Bulk Orchestra. Anybody from Bulk Orchestra would destroy MJF in a minute. My boy Tamura, Hayato Tamura would just destroy that man. So anyway, then we go.
Someone in the chat said Jake Lee. That's too much.
That is a dork from some rinky-dink indie for sure. So. So then, Making Money Renee, who's been on like every segment in this show so far, especially the hour 2.
On her horse.
She was everywhere. Is backstage with Orange Cassidy, and Renee's like, Orange, we always seem to know what your next step is going to be or who you're going to face. And Orange says, yeah, somebody always just walks in and challenges me. And now here we go. Here they come. And then all of a sudden, here comes Zack Sabre Jr. onto the frame. Zack fucking Sabre Jr. and Zack Sabre Jr. And I'm not even going to try to do the Zack Sabre Jr. voice because I can't. Says that being a double champion would be pretty marvelous and says, I want to face you for the international title. And then Daniel Garcia enters the frame and says, hey, you don't even work here, mate. And Garcia is asking where his boy Shibata is, or where OC's boy Shibata is. OC says, hey, Shibata will be there next week. So he says, how about you two versus me and Shibata next week? Suit, I may have to watch Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy versus the Guns, but I also get to see Orange Cassidy and fucking Katsuyori Shibata versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia. So you know what? I'm in. I'm fine with it. And it looks like we're going to get Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. and fucking Shibata versus Garcia at Forbidden Door. That, yes, please, yes.
Either that or Forbidden Door or the ROH pay-per-view in July.
Right. Whichever.
Either way,
I don't care.
We're getting it. Yeah, man, I love honorary best friend Katsuyori Shibata.
That's so good. Where's your boy?
That is wild.
Shibata. I like that OC knows. Like they are regularly in contact, and he's like, well, he's not here tonight, but he'll be there next week. Like he knows. Like I would love to see the text change between Orange Cassidy and Shibata. They can't possibly just use like normal texting, right? It's got to. They have to be on like WhatsApp or something like that, or Instagram DMs or so. I don't know. Or maybe they're just on maybe they talk. Maybe they talk on the phone. Maybe Orange Cassidy, gets a bowl of cereal ready in the morning and calls Shibata to check in on how things are going. I don't know. But they're in regular contact and they know where they're going to be.
Cassidy very confused at what Chapin means.
He's like, all right, pal. Just gives the thumbs up emoji and ends the conversation there. So,
and then Shibata says, oh, wrong number.
Yeah.
Disregard.
Yeah. Sorry, wrong number. Oh, man. All right. And now we go to the women's title match here. Toni Storm versus Skye Blue. Toni Storm versus Skye Blue. Toni attacks Blue at the bell, but Skye sidesteps her.
Hold on. We gotta hold on. We gotta give this its proper title. The Big Seat Standoff.
It is the Big Seat Standoff.
AKA the Battle of the Buns. AKA the Cheeks Challenge. Now we can continue.
Okay. I don't know if you had another one. That's good. Cheeks Challenge is good.
Three's enough.
That three is the rule of threes for sure. Yeah, I don't want to overstep it there. So Toni attacks Blue at the bell. Oh, we get an obvious, like, Skye Blue runs to the ringside and hugs her mom, and you're like, oh yeah, something's happening here. Like something is like it isn't just to hug her mom, and like Skye Blue go, that's Skye Blue's mom. It's like, all right, something is happening here, and it did. So she tries to attack Blue at the bell. Skye Blue sidesteps it and does a rolling, is rolling here, does a crossbody from the top, gets a near fall. At this point, Toni Storm's like, fuck this, goes to the outside, spray paints the face of Skye Blue's mom at ringside. Skye Blue then dives to the outside, takes them both out. Then they get back in the ring, exchange a little bit back and forth here. Then Toni Storm runs out again and tries to get a can of spray paint, again to spray into Skye Blue's face. But Skye Blue is one step ahead of her and has blue spray paint and sprays it into Toni Storm's face and then tosses the spray paint bottle into the crowd, which I don't know if you're supposed to do that. Like, I don't know if that's, like, is that guy going to start spraying people with it or whatever? I mean, it appeared to be a shoot, like, spray bottle. Like, Toni Storm was all blue afterwards, so it looked like shoot spray, not working spray. So anyway, so she pins Toni Storm. Ruby distracts Paul Turner, though. Skye super kicks Ruby, but then when she turns around, Storm 0. Skye kicks out at 2, and you're like, uh-oh, and then it's Cloverleaf, and it's over. Skye has to tap. But fun match. They packed a lot into, let me see what this match time was. 6 minutes and 59 seconds. They packed a lot of action in there, and I would say pretty good. I mean, Toni Storm is Toni Storm. Like, we don't have to say anything more about her, but I thought Skye Blue looked pretty damn good here.
Good stuff here. Saraya wasn't here. She's probably tagging the side of a Kmart or something. I did want to shout out Days of Thunder co-host Lee Malone. He was in the Slack and talking about Dynamite, and I want to shout him out for this comment. Mom Blue getting sprayed, and Christian was nowhere to be found.
Oh, man.
Good one from Lee.
Oh, boy.
You hear more of that on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Yeah,
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. Oh, man. That's good. That's so good. All right. I don't even know how to follow that up. That
Moving on.
Too good.
Moving
on, yes.
This is where I wrote, this is an all-timer Dynamite crowd. Shout out to Classic Catch. She was probably leading the charge out there. Voice of Wrestling Discord regular.
Yeah, this was just a phenomenal crowd. They were so hot for this match, and rightfully so. Like again, they were quick. Everything was done fast. Like this, a perfectly timed show. Like this, however you time this show, this is the format to keep. I think moving forward as much as you can. Now, obviously, you're not gonna be able to do everything that you did in the main event as much. Like you can't do that all the time. You can't have Eddie Kingston and Will Ospreay, show up out of nowhere, but you can have a show formatted where it doesn't feel like a slog at any point. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that got time and needed time got time, and your Jake Hager entrances and your Mogul Embassy entrances or whatever, you don't, like you can move those along. They can go a little bit quicker, start in the ring. Every match was like ding, 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 and then guys going at it right away. Or this match, the women, ding, ding, ding. Toni runs right at Skye Blue, and we're off and running, and action is happening for all 7 minutes of this match. Like this is how you formatted Dynamite to keep that. The crowd didn't have a second to even stop cheering or stop getting hyped up because it was all just happening in front of them, and it was all really good stuff. And yeah, this match was where it really cemented to me that like this is a really, really great crowd. And this is a really great Dynamite more than anything. If the show ended right here, we're talking about a great, great Dynamite. But of course, it didn't, and we had yet another absolutely incredible nuts segment. Not this one. This is close. Making even more money, Renee is backstage again with Jungle Hook, and Jungle says the summer of Jungle Hook is here. This man is so turning heel, right? He's turning on this guy. Come on. He's got to be.
He was laying it on thick.
Right? He's like, with me and my man Hook over here, my best friend, we're going to do the summer's going to be ours. And it's like, oh, God. He is turning heel so quickly on this guy.
Hook had a pumpkin shirt on.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the pumpkin shirt. He looked like Cyclope or whatever. It's like, what's going on here? Yeah, I don't. And by Cyclope, of course, I meant Halloween. Before people say
absolutely,
it's been a long night. But I guess Cyclope had. There was a couple. No, you know what? Yeah, he had. Anyway, the same guy. I know. Don't even start in the chat room. Same guy. I know.
Settle down, swing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you. If you're gonna be like that was Halloween, I'm telling you, it's I got it. Same guy. I know. Anyway, so Jungle Boy says he is accepting Sonata's open challenge. Renee asks Hook for his thoughts, but before Hook can say a word, Jungle Boy stops him and says, hey, sorry this happened so fast, but we're best friends. Will you have my back at Forbidden Door? And Hook, I think he just was like, yeah.
He gave him an affirmative fist bump.
Yeah, affirmative fist bump to move things on along. So,
but yeah, I wanted to say, you said that Yoshitatsu and Shota Umino was a Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. Sonata versus Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
That is Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Yeah,
that is a handsome battle where mics need to be 50 yards away.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little quiet in there in that building, but it's gonna be hot. You know what they need to do? They need to bring in we need the women. You know what? Women of attendees of Forbidden Door. This is your moment. You know what I mean? Yell, cheer, scream. Men, of course, whatever Sonata is objective. I mean, Jungle Boy, yeah. But Sonata's whether you're straight or, he is an objectively attractive man, right? Objectively.
Absolutely.
He is really hot. So, you know what, men? Do your part, man. Let's start screaming. Yeah, men, straight, women, whatever. Everybody scream. Everybody scream for Sonata. That jawline needs... he's going to need all the help he can get here on
Jungle Boy got that hair, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. If he gets that hair on a good hair day, throws it up in the air, maybe puts it back in a ponytail for a second, then takes out the ponytail, it can work too for sure. But yeah, it's Jungle Boy and Sonata. That's going to be I don't know about that one, but who fucking cares? Look at the rest of the Forbidden Door show. Who gives a shit?
It's fourth from the top. It is an open challenge, and it's AEW giving New Japan the guy that New Japan can beat,
right?
Who's theoretically a big name. Jungle Boy was in the world title match at the last pay-per-view, but you can beat Jungle Boy, and no one's hurt by that.
No, and also you're getting Bryan Danielson and Okada. I honestly said they could do Bryan Danielson versus Okada and Omega versus Ospreay, and then just not anything else on the show. They could just end the show in 2 hours and be like, go home, everybody. And I'd be fine. I'd be perfectly fine. You know what I mean? I'd be like, that was a great show. You know what I mean? And then if you got TV time remaining, give us Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. And then I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting Danielson and Okada and Ospreay versus Omega. I don't care what else is on the show. It doesn't matter. The fact that we're getting, anything else on there is fine.
Yeah. They're booking a great show anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Tanahashi and MJF. Okay, now I'm good. Now I don't need another match. Anything else is gravy. Anything else is fine. So, yeah, anybody complaining about Jungle Boy and Sonata, I don't know about it. It's going to be a weird match, but I don't care. I don't care.
It'll be fine. Like, I was dead set that Sonata was a babyface with just 5 guys, but they keep booking him against baby faces, so now I'm like, maybe Joe was right, and they are heels.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
But like, they aren't heels though. They're like they inspired Sonata to break out of his funk, and they held him on his arms as he won the world title. Like,
yeah, shades of gray, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is odd. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I felt like he was a baby face, but I mean, Hiromu was the babyface in that title match. Tsuji, he was the crowd was with him, but Sonata was the babyface in that match because he was fighting from underneath the whole time. Everybody was behind Tsuji. Then Jungle Boy Jungle Boy's going to be more over than Sonata.
For sure. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it makes all the sense, like you said, that whoever was going to face Sonata had to lose, and Jungle Boy's a guy that can eat a loss pretty good, and maybe even you can have like Hook not help him and stuff, and he could, we could really get that story. It could be a big part of that story too, with Hook at ringside or whatever, if you really want to get involved in that and start progressing that story moving forward. So.
One more thing, Alex Goot in the No Dopes chat room with a great idea. We make that hair versus hair. That could be the main event.
Oh, Danielson and Okada. We hit the bricks, pal. If we're hair versus hair, ooh. Sonata versus JB, we're talking, man. Let's go. That's spicy.
And this is Sonata with the good haircut. Like,
great haircut, yeah. Yeah, actually the stip is that he has to grow his hair out and dye it blonde again. Is the stip.
The reverse hair match.
Right.
Oh, that's a Chikara match.
Yes.
Yeah. You got a bald guy with a bad hairline. He's got to grow it back out.
They just feed him Rogaine for like months on end.
Someone's done that. I think someone's done that.
Someone had to have, yeah.
Oh, that's money.
Yeah, this is Tony. Free ideas in this Instant Reaction Live coming here. So we'll take. If you want to make it not free, send us a check. We can give you our addresses. We'll be more than happy.
I mean. I gave him a staging idea for Forbidden Door.
And he took it and sold a shit ton of tickets from it. Yeah, and sold a shit ton of tickets
all I wanted was a thank you, Yeah. And 1% of the gate, but
yeah, right.
The thank you was most important.
Never got it. Thank you or the 1%, right?
Never got it.
Yeah. Or did you get the 1%, not the thank you?
Well, I mean, the offer was both. But,
Yeah, you take it or leave it. I want both or I want none. If you're not going to give me the thank you, I don't want the 1%. So hit the bricks. Yeah, that's fair.
The 1% without the thank you.
It's meaningless. Yeah, it's empty.
Cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's empty.
Cold.
Oh, man. All right. So then we get American fucking Dragon, Bryan Danielson out. I love that they put this guy in a bubble until Forbidden Door. They're like, you're never wrestling again. And you know what? Fair play. I don't need him wrestling on Rampage. I don't need him wrestling on Dynamite. Keep that man in a fucking bubble until he can face Okada. So I'm fine with it. I love it.
Yeah. They have Wheeler Yuta for these 6 men.
Exactly.
They don't need Danielson for
No. They do not. And Danielson's so good on commentary in this heel role too that it's actually like pretty damn good. That and you're just talking shit the whole time and just sitting back in his chair and just it's pretty solid here. So we get another Collision hype video here, and they went into overdrive with this one. We get FTR talking about the match with Punk. White and Juice Robinson talking about bringing in Samoa Joe. Miro's also going to be in action. Skye Blue and Willow are going to face Tony and Ruby. Buddy Matthews versus Andrade. A very, very good lineup, as well as the Luchasaurus and Wardlow. Correct, right? Right? Is that also? Yeah. That.
And the Buddy Matthews Andrade graphic got a pop.
Got a big old pop. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Did they run that match? WWE, or is that somebody else I'm thinking of?
Buddy Matthews.
Like, I know Matthews had those matches with Ali. but like,
I don't know if they
run that?
ever. Yeah, because I think by the time.
Because it was Malachi Black I'm thinking of. That's who I'm
Yes.
thinking
Oh,
of.
yeah. Those guys had a bunch.
Because that was when Heyman was trying to get them both over when he was running Raw.
Right.
So
Yeah, I honestly don't recall them ever having a singles match. And they would have.
I don't think those two did.
It would have been a weird crossover too, because I think Buddy was just about gone by the time Andrade was really starting to ramp up in NXT. So yeah, maybe I don't think they ever crossed paths. And that sounds pretty good. And we got Miro, we got Buddy, we got Andrade. Yeah, it's a hell of a lineup for Collision. So yeah, you're gonna want to be there for sure. You're gonna want to watch it for sure. The big thing is, is Collision going to matter in 5 weeks? I don't know. We'll find out. But week 1 is going to fucking matter because that's a hell of a lineup. And the vaunted roster split already doesn't really, like everybody's like, oh, I don't know the roster split. And it's like Skye Blue is going to be there. Tony's going to be there. Ruby's going to be there. Willow's going to be there. Buddy Matthews is going to be there. I think pretty quickly they're telling you Wardlow and Luchasaurus are going to be there. Pretty quickly they're telling you, like, calm down, people. This split is, one person or
some
guys
are working Saturdays.
Right.
It's not. We aren't breaking out the ping pong balls and doing a draft.
Right.
We aren't having, who would it be coming out on stage and reading? Who would be the Stephanie McMahon in this role?
Not Vicky Guerrero anymore. I'll tell you that. I guess you can have like Mark Henry and Paul White can be the 2 representatives. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Do their things as people go. Yeah.
Mark Henry be drafting people for Rampage. It'd be like the Dark Order.
He's like, I made a good pick, Dark Order. It's like...
The Wingmen. I got 4 with 1.
Yeah,
that's a value pick.
Yeah. He just picks all the units. Yeah, it's like, yeah. And then we got it. The main event, finally, we're here. The Blackpool Combat Club versus the Hung Bucks. They did not call them the Hung Bucks, I believe, right? They just called them the Elite.
Yes. I believe. I don't remember what the graphics said.
I don't think the graphics said Hung Bucks.
It said Hangman and the Bucks, but it was like these 3 used to team under a sexually suggestive and anatomically incorrect name.
I get if Ricky Starks can't, say his thing, then I guess you can't call these men the Hung Bucks. But anyway, they came out and they were the Elites, which, that's fine. And then you're going to be shocked by this, but the Blackpool Combat Club of, John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta versus the Hangman Page and the Young Bucks. They proceeded to have a really fucking awesome match suit. I know it's going to shock you. The Bucks have their little bandanas, little smoking guns reference here from the Young Bucks here. Guys are flying around.
Dolly Parton cowboy hats on.
Yeah, they had the little tiny cowboy hats with ruffles on them and little little bells
with the little pearls coming off the top.
Yeah, it's so great. Again, I don't know what you wrote in your play-by-play notes, but I wrote guys are flying around and doing 1,000 things at fucking rocks is all I wrote. So I wrote this turned into a Pier 6 brawl quick. Big end of TV taping ROH vibes to this one. This is a big party match. Yeah.
Then I noted that Nick Jackson kicked out of a pile driver because he turned his neck to the left to avoid full damage. Shout out Jeff Hawkins for that one.
That was so good.
I know he loves that.
Yeah, it's and these guys, I mean, they're awesome. And Matt, who I believe is the one with the busted bicep because he, had a bunch of tape around it or has that like compression on it or whatever, was in the match a ton here, was doing a ton of stuff in this match, whereas Nick was doing nothing. So I don't know if Nick was like, hey man, I've been carrying this shit for like last 6 months, so it's all you now. And Matt just did everything in this match. He did the double suplex to Yuta and Mox and flex to let you know, hey, I'm feeling pretty good right now. And then they just went on and had just an incredible match on free TV again. People Juventud Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero on Nitro, and we're like using that as like, come on, like this is on free TV, and people complain about this show and be like, yeah, back in the day we used to get good wrestling matches. Shut up, go away. But anyway, see earlier rants.
Watch them.
Yeah,
go watch Peacock.
Yeah, they're all on fucking Peacock. Go watch them. Trust me, they're not as good as you remember. They're not as good as they are in 15-second GIF form. You know what I mean? Like highlight GIF form. Trust me, not as good. And there's probably some dumb shit. And Kevin Nash probably came out and powerbombed all of them after the match anyway. So it's like, Anyway,
they sit through a lot of B team to get to
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
there.
Enjoy your fucking Vincent
Lot-
promo while you on your way to that 4-minute Eddie Guerrero Juventud Guerrero match where Hoovy probably botched 3
Lot of
moves.
Lex Luger. Lot of post-peak Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Because there was a point in there where he was good, like up until he won the title on that Nitro.
Oh yeah, he was good, and
He was good.
then he was not
then
good for a long time.
It was literally like then. That's the demarcation point. He sucks now.
Yeah, and I think him himself realizing, well, that's as good as it's gonna get, so fuck it. I'm not doing anything anymore. And he was smart, and then he wore FUBU, so it all worked out pretty good. So he wore track pants and
All
FUBU
those
shirts.
guys-
So
All those guys wearing FUBU back in the day just cracks me up. Kevin Nash and FUBU. Like,
big sexy. That's big sexy to you, sir.
he pulled it off too.
He kind of did, yeah. Like the baseball shirt, the FUBU like baseball, jersey. He nailed it.
Exactly. Yep.
You know the one as he's like sitting there with his dumb look on his face or whatever, holding the microphone with his like 2 fingers, being like Goldberg. It's like big sexy man. All right, so then match
Shouting
doing
out
stuff
Shawn
match.
Michaels.
Just a doing stuff match. It's fucking the Young Bucks. They're throwing kicks. They're doing a ton of things. We get a huge, awesome Doomsday device from Claudio and Mox to Matt. Claudio, the BCC just rules too, man. Like when they have a chance, there was one point where all of them were in the ring doing elbow strikes to all 3 of the other guys in the ring. And it's just like, God, they rule. They're just like, they're just pounding these guys in the middle of the ring, all with elbow strikes at the same time. It's just, it's so good. And then Moxley gets up and just flicks everybody off just for good measure. But yeah, just incredible work from them. But then it was a double V trigger, buckshot lariat, and Hangman pins Wheeler Yuta, the right finish, the right guy to lose, the right guy to win. All the stuff rocked. It just fucking ruled, and it's on free TV suit. I went 4 1/4. Good stuff. You can't beat it.
Man, I didn't give a rate. I didn't have a chance to give this a rating because then everything after the match.
Okay, I'm gonna take a drink of water here
though.
because I have like quite literally another 1.5 pages of notes from what happened after the show with like about 2 minutes left on the show. You know what I mean? Like we are right on the edge. Here. We are right on the edge. I'm standing up, unplugging my laptop, walking over to my office to get this instant reaction live going, and then I stop my tracks and go, oh, all right, well I better watch till the end here, see what happens. All right, take this sip of water here. Okay. So BCC just got beat. They did all their shit. They just weren't the better team on this night. Great teamwork from the Hung Bucks. Great match. Ruled. Claudio runs back into the ring, starts the post-match beating, but then Eddie Kingston returns to stop the attack. He goes right at Claudio. So that, again, a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to those who know the background, obviously, with Claudio and Kingston, which also became, I guess it's not even a wink, wink, nudge, nudge anymore. It's now canon that these guys, so I forgot that they really, really...
It was the ROH pay-per-view main event.
Right. So yeah, those guys...
no, Eddie's going to be in the G1, so it's not going to be the next one.
Right. Won't be for this next one, but yeah, the nod to the ROH thing, it's in canon now. These guys hate each other. They can't stand one another. But it's not in canon with Mox and Kingston because Kingston, he starts barreling at Claudio, sends him out of the ring. Him and Mox have a brief eye-to-eye, but they do not touch because they've been friends in the past, and they haven't really been enemies yet either. So it's like, well, I don't know. I don't really hate you.
No, they started off as enemies, but then they became friends. So now they're on good terms.
And now it's a little bit of like,
but now it's like,
where do I stand? Where do you stand? He's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. So Matt then Matt Jackson runs in, attacks Moxley from behind, but then and he scalds him like, hey man, hey, let me have a chance here. You don't have to beat that guy up. Like we're still buds, I think. I'm not sure. Like, but still, maybe don't beat him up. And then Takeshita runs out and he starts attacking Kingston. Then Takeshita gives like the biggest, like a Jerry Lawler punch to Nick Jackson. Just bam, just knocks him out. And I wrote here, Suit, whoa boy, things are happening. I thought that was things happening. Eddie Kingston and Takeshita coming out was my things are happening. And then Battle Cry plays and outruns Kenny Omega to confront Takeshita. They go to blows in the middle of the ring as the crowd is just leaping up and down, jumping. We get a V-trigger. Dueling super kick from the Young Bucks, a Snapdragon, and the Elite stand tall. Enter. Oh, wait, now out of nowhere, it's Will fucking Ospreay. Again, I walked out. I said, oh, the Elite stand tall. I'm good. close the laptop, start walking to the office. We're good to go. All right, here's Will fucking Ospreay out of the crowd. Everybody is going absolutely nuts. He super kicks Omega, points to his head, points to the scar from their match at Wrestle Kingdom. Hidden Blade. He takes out Omega, and now my notes just read, my God. It's all I was able to write on my phone as I'm watching with my laptop closed. And then, like we talked about at the beginning, Excalibur is just like, I just got word that Ospreay is on Rampage. The Takeshita the collision on Saturday. As they go off the air. It's like 1,000 things are happening. Guys are everywhere. And then, like you said, as they're doing the sign-off and as the graphics there, Will Ospreay throws one more hidden blade at Omega just for good measure as all the things are happening. Holy crap. The vibes of this show. Apologize to Tony Khan. That's all I got to say. Fuck, that was a great episode of Dynamite.
Here are my notes. Brawl after the bell. Eddie Kingston, all caps, comes out and goes after Claudio, exclamation point. Mox and Kingston face off. They almost come to blows, but Takeshita takes out Kingston from behind. Omega comes out, exclamation point. The big-ass Dynamite brawl is back, exclamation point. Omega hits Takeshita with a V-trigger, but Ospreay is here. Hook kick to Omega. Hidden Blade, Stormbreaker. This is AEW. Yeah. This is Dynamite. AEW never die. Ospreay is wrestling on Rampage. He hit another Hidden Blade. Show this to anyone who says that like AEW doesn't tell stories.
Right.
This is like
there was 16 stories and 3 years worth of stories lumped into a from different companies, from different, like, all lumped into one. It's absurd.
It's unreal. And you could even like just watch, like, if you just watch AEW, like, you'd get everything, because Claudio came in last year and he came in to replace Danielson on the Blood and Guts team, and Kingston wasn't happy then.
Right.
Claudio took the win from him at Blood and Guts, and then those two went to Ring of Honor to get care of their problems. Mox and Kingston have been in each other's orbit for 3 years. Takeshita and Kingston, that's new. That's different. But he's been like on the BCC side. Then Omega comes out and you have that story, which is like peaking right now. Then you've got the Will Ospreay thing, which if you've watched Dynamite, you know these two have problems all the way back to the Trios tournament. All the way back last year. Like,
yeah,
this is just so heavy with stories, and it's so great. And that's why I'm typing in all caps, and that's why I'm shouting at 11 o'clock at night on the porch as my parents knock on the window and tell me to shut up.
As they should.
That's what this company does.
Yeah, make your parents really mad at you. Yeah, that's it's just phenomenal. Yeah, for any, like you said, you put it perfect there. Anybody that says that this company doesn't tell stories, in 3 minutes they told like 9 stories, maybe too many. And but you know what? I'm fine with it.
Those people.
Yeah, those people are dumb. Ignore those people.
Stop listening to those people.
Stop listening to them. Stop engaging them. They're dumb. Just ignore them because they're wrong.
Right.
They're just wrong. They're just flat out wrong, and they're not speaking from any sort of. It's either in bad faith or they're just dumb. So just don't talk to them anymore. They're just not worth your time. Because
let them watch Roman Reigns make a face at an Uso, like he's done for the last 3 years, and let them enjoy that.
Yeah, we'll enjoy this.
Did you see that? There was a piece in one of the Patreon rooms in the Discord where somebody posted like something Joe wrote from like 2020, and it's still fitting today.
Oh yeah. How every segment is exactly the same still. It's, Paul Heyman makes a face, Roman Reigns, is upset at an Uso. Usos look disappointed. It's like, and that was in,
Here it is.
Yeah, that was written.
I found it.
Yeah, I think it was written in 2021, I want to say. I think it was June 2021, right? It might have been June 2020 for all I know.
The following synopsis of this is quoting Joe's writing from the Patreon, which if you're hearing this, you can go read it.
Yeah. I think it was in the recap because I did like the monthly recap thing going back to old I do the thing now every single month like, hey, here's what we did in the past. So yeah, we went to that June 2021. So that was 2 years ago, right? So what do we got?
Yes.
For the bloodline.
The following synopsis of the vaunted Roman Reigns storyline fits neatly into every episode of SmackDown this year. Roman talks real slow and deliberate. Paul Heyman clutches Roman's title belt, stares at him with bug eyes and makes goofy faces. Roman and the Usos explain to each other that they are related. Roman passively aggressively emasculates the Usos. Uso number 1 is submissive to Roman. His shirt says right-hand man. Uso number 2 is bratty to Roman. His shirt says nobody's bitch. Roman demands the Usos do his bidding. Michael Cole explains that Roman and the Usos are related. The Usos fail at a task. Roman gets upset. Heyman makes more weird faces. Start at the top every week. The story never advances. Nothing new ever happens. That was 2 years ago. Oh, let me read the end. It's a boring, repetitive, and easily the most overrated storyline in wrestling. Plus, Roman has already beaten everyone, and they have no credible title challengers set up.
Incredible.
Could have wrote that last week.
They could have wrote that. Incredible. Oh God. Yeah. Well, luckily that's a great.
Only thing they did was accidentally build 2 top baby faces and then beat them both.
And then beat them mercifully. Whoops. Our bad. Never mind. We're back.
The same way he beat everybody else.
Yeah. Oh God. Greatest story in wrestling history, sir. So,
I'll take this. They can have that.
Yes. Again. Love it. Yeah. That's yours. If that's the greatest story in your wrestling history, that's fine. Whatever I saw at the end of this Dynamite, whatever I saw in this Dynamite, this is my wrestling right here. This is how I want a show to be timed. This is what I want to happen. I want hot matches to start off. I want hot matches to end it. And I want shit to happen. I want things to happen, people to come back, moves to be done, super kicks to be thrown. Like, I want this shit. Give me this. This was a phenomenal episode of Dynamite. And you will not find many wrestling TV shows ever that match what you saw on a night like this. And think about how many of these Dynamites we've had that are like these all-timers. I say it all the time. Like, it is, people do not realize what we're getting with Dynamite. There's when the show is even mildly just okay, it's like the fucking world is ending. But we got to give credit to these shows. We got to give equal amount of air to these shows when they're as good as they fucking are. And they're these like all-time great TV wrestling shows. You are not going to find anything like this on American television wrestling ever. Go back and watch any old Nitro you want. Trust me. I watched them all. You're not getting this. Watch any old Raw. Trust me. You're not getting stuff like this. This is an all-time great TV wrestling show. They don't make them like this. They just don't.
No, they don't. It's fantastic, man. You get through the bad stuff because you know this stuff. You know this stuff can happen any week. You get the right crowd, you get the right lineup. And you can get this on any week. And it's incredible. And on Rampage, what are we getting on Rampage? We're getting Ospreay.
So he is going to be, I don't want to do any spoilers here, so I'll keep this, spoiler free, but if you're really like, I don't want to know anything that's happening on Rampage, then you could probably sign off if you'd like, but I will do it right now. Ospreay, Cobb, and Fletcher versus Best Friends and Rocky.
Ooh,
that's good.
That's
and
nice.
Also, Takeshita versus fucking Bandito.
Jesus.
So you better watch Rampage this week, too. You're watching a lot of AEW this week. Let me tell you. You're going to have a fun little write-up there for Figure 4.
Will Ospreay and Papa Briscoe on the same show.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Both wrestling.
I forgot. Yeah, it's Papa's going to be there. And then I believe Taya Valkyrie and Trisha Dora, we're going to have a match as well. So I'm going to, of course, keep that spoiler-free. You can figure all that out as well. But for what's happening there. But that's a hell of a, United Empire versus Chaos, Takeshita versus Bandito, Papa Briscoe versus Karen Jarrett and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, Aubrey, Mark, and Papa. Just great. And then, Taya Valkyrie and Trish Adora. So there you go. That
On the
is
same show, you are going to have Will Ospreay doing these incredible sequences.
yes.
And on the same show, you are going to have Jeff Jarrett selling for Papa Briscoe.
Right, Karen Jarrett in the ring in wrestling
That's
attire,
money.
or I hope she's not even in. I hope she's just in like the dress. You know what I mean? Just doesn't even attempt to wear the any sort of wrestling gear. But yeah, you got Bandito and Karen Jarrett on the same wrestling show. I mean, where are you gonna get that? Where else are you gonna get that? Well, maybe something.
That game's gonna look like WCW versus the World once they get all the DLC.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be absurd. Yeah, the roster is gonna be just stupid. So there you go, Suits. That was AEW Dynamite, June 14th. We picked a good one here. We've went nearly as long as the show was, which is always a good sign. It's either a bad sign that we don't know how to shut the hell up, or it's a good sign that a show had so much to talk about that we're nearly going 2 hours in recapping it. But before we bid you adieu, you want to get your last plugs out of the way, where people can follow you, where they can read your work, and then we'll say goodbye and good night, and we'll move on and see what the rest of AEW's insane week has for us. But Suits, where can people find your work, and where can they follow you as well?
You can follow me on Twitter at Suit Williams, and you can find me on f4wonline.com every week reviewing Ring of Honor, and starting this Saturday, reviewing AEW Collision.
There it is. And
you can also find me here, voiceswrestling.com. I write a lot here. Yes, you do. So, Suit, thank you so much for coming in here, pinch hitting, and God, we picked a good one here. The reason we're doing this, full disclosure, is like I don't have time tomorrow to do a Dynamite review before I do the flagship tomorrow, so it was like, maybe this is a good opportunity to do a live show. And I saw that MJF and Cole was on it, and I was like, it's a good. I had no idea. I had no idea we were going to have like an all-time great Dynamite. So this ended up being perfect. And Suit, you were phenomenal. So thank you again for filling in here. Guys, support Suit. Follow him, read his work. Great stuff that he does at Figure Four. Great stuff that he does here for us at Voices of Wrestling. Make sure you follow him on the Dying Husk that is Twitter. But Suit, thank you so much for doing this, and everybody that's listening, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for sticking with us for nearly 2 hours. As I said, this has been Instant Reaction Live, AEW Dynamite, June 14th. I'll be back tomorrow night with the flagship live with a very fun show reviewing Impact, talking New Japan Pro Wrestling, and some other news and notes throughout the world of wrestling. And then stay tuned for news on Saturday about what we're going to do for AEW Collision. We're not 100% sure we can go live immediately after Collision, but you will get some sort of audio, whether it be live or whether it be an hour or so after Collision. You're going to get something for AEW Collision this weekend. So it's a busy weekend in the world of flagship Patreon, and we thank you, of course, for your support and for listening. Suit, thank you again. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Bye.